my name is James and welcome to my channel. In today's video we're going to talk about one of the most popular retro modern motorcycles in the market and try to answer, is it a good beginner motorcycle or not? I'd had three things in mind when I bought the Interceptor: style, power and handling. I'm going to start obviously with the most subjective point, which is style, and then take the opportunity to show you guys the motorcycle. Everything here is stock. I'm gonna let you guys hear the exhaust, which is stock as well, and then obviously I'm gonna give you a little tour around it. What I really like about the stock sound, it's that it sounds like no other bike. It definitely took me off guard the first time I heard it. The videos there, they don't do justice like at all to the real sound of this bike in real life, so take that into consideration. So looks is definitely one of the biggest points with this bike, I would say with most of the Royal Enfields out there. So if that's something you're after, this might be the bike for you, especially if you are, preferring looks over performance, which leads us to our second point, which is power. Well, something that was very important to me, and I'm sure for a lot of you guys, is power. And obviously, depending on your context, the perception of how much power is enough power may vary a lot. But here is something to consider right away, especially we're talking if this is a good beginner bike or not. Horsepower can change a lot among similar size engines. A 650cc engine in modern motorcycle terms could be a little bit scary for a lot of beginners, since motorcycles like the Yamaha XSR 700, which may be one of your picks if you're a fan of retro modern bike, has a 689cc parallel V-twin that can produce a whopping 115 horsepower, which is a lot. Or maybe in a less extreme example, maybe the Suzuki SV650 with a 650cc V-twin engine that can produce 76 horsepower, which is nothing too shy, right? Obviously, there are a lot of different aspects like torque, weight, chain sprocket ratio, etc. But still, those numbers could definitely lead someone to believe that a 650cc engine could be a bad call for a beginner rider, right? And to be honest, from my own experience after riding a couple of bikes and after riding these bikes for a while, that perception might be right. The Interceptor has a very easygoing engine that won't blow your head off, and it won't surprise you if you know what you are doing, especially if you know what you're doing. That's where the beginner part plays a huge role. However, this kind of plays another role in the highway, which is kind of the place I wish the motorcycle had a little bit more to give. Don't get me wrong, the motorcycle feels amazing whenever I try to get to 100 kilometers or 60 miles per hour, but at least in my case, it doesn't sound that it's too comfortable staying over that speed for a prolonged period of time. Obviously, there are many other factors like my height, how much I weigh, whether I have a windshield or not, or if I'm carrying luggage, etc. But from my experience and from what I've seen from other reviews, this motorcycle feels more at home under 120 kilometers or 70 miles per hour. And after all of this talk about the Interceptor not being efficient, 47 horsepower still might be a little bit much for a beginner, especially considering that in some places like Europe and the UK, there are limitations to the type of license you can get, which typically means that you should only start on an 125cc motorcycle. And I think this brings me to my first point, which is how much power is too much power would depend on your context, experience, and perception. Another point that people kind of consider whenever they start, whenever they're planning on getting the first motorcycle is how long would it take for me to outgrow my bike, to feel that I need more power, to feel that I need more oomph, right? And that was important to me too, to be honest. Like I'm not particularly like a short guy here in Chile. I'm not like too light either. I'm kind of in the heavy side, to be honest. But I haven't, after a year of riding, I don't feel that I need a lot of power. It might underperform in the highway, but that's it. And it's not like a huge underperformance. It's just I feel that okay, maybe a little bit more power in the highway would be welcome. That's the general feeling. Something that you guys may also consider whenever you get your first motorcycle is how easy to service the bike is. And in this case, if you ask me, after a year of owning this, it would depend on your country. The motorcycle itself is very, very easy to service. Changing the oil, changing the filter, even bleeding your brakes, changing your pads is not a big deal at all. But it would depend on how easily you can get the parts. That's usually a problem from where I get. Like it could be an issue in the United States or some parts of the UK. In Chile, it's not an issue, but the parts are definitely a little bit on the expensive side. So that's something that you should consider. Again, it's if you have the parts and if you had a little bit of technical knowledge, of mechanical knowledge, it shouldn't be a problem. It should be a piece of cake, to be honest. I forgot to answer the main question of the videos, and it's just it is a good beginner motorcycle as long as you have everything kind of in mind: your weight, height, the power of the motorcycle, the fact that you're not going to outgrow the power of the motorcycle like too fast. Yes, it is a good beginner motorcycle. Just be careful out there, take those factors in consideration and have fun. Obviously price is a thing. This is not a cheap motorcycle, at least here in Chile where I live. This is obviously a cheaper motorcycle there in the US and Europe, which is why the motorcycles are so popular there. It's not an expensive motorcycle if you compare it to the rest, and it's such an awesome purchase for my part. I didn't mention how stoked I am for purchasing this motorcycle. So that's the end of the video. Thank you if you make it so far, and make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy whatever I did here. If you got some useful information or if you want to see more similar content, please subscribe, please share it, please do whatever the other YouTubers say to do. And also comment if I missed something. Like let me know if I'm screwing up something or if I'm just saying nonsense. So whenever you're gonna pick your first motorcycle, let us know in the comment too. And thanks once again, and see you guys in the next one. Bye.